Dad said, "Meet my soulmate, everyone." I looked up and saw my college roommate. The silence was deafening. I was 24 and temporarily living at home after college while looking for work. My dad was 52 and had been really lonely since mom divorced him 3 years earlier. He owned a plumbing business and had good money saved up, but I'd watched him get more depressed every month since the divorce. Looking back, I should have trusted my gut that night because it would have saved him everything. My college roommate had dropped out 2 years earlier when we were sophomores. She called herself Cassandra back then, failed every class, and vanished overnight saying she needed to find herself. But there she was at our dinner table, holding my father's hand with a massive engagement ring on her finger. She looked straight through me like we'd never met and shook my hand. She said, "I'm Cassandra. I own a marketing firm. I'm 28. My heart was pounding because she was lying about everything except her name. Dad's face was glowing with happiness I hadn't seen in years. He kept saying, "Isn't she incredible?" I wanted to scream that Cassandra was my 22-year-old dropout roommate who couldn't pass a single business class. 2 weeks later, Dad casually mentioned he was investing his entire retirement into his girlfriend's company, and I knew we were in serious trouble. I drove to Dad's office the next day with my hands shaking because I had to make him understand. I told him, "That's Cassandra, my college roommate. She's only 22, not 28. His face immediately changed to something I'd never seen before, like pure contempt for me. He spat, "You're jealous. Maybe if you weren't such a pathetic failure living in my basement, you'd recognize success." That hurt more than anything because I'd turned down 3 job offers to stay home and make sure he didn't hurt himself after the divorce. After Cassandra moved into Dad's house, she started throwing out every photo of mom while Dad just stood there smiling. She cooed, "Baby, we need to move forward, not backward." I wanted to shake him and make him see what was happening. The garage became her spiritual wellness studio, where she charged women $200 each for fake healing sessions. Dad bragged to everyone, "My girlfriend's a genius entrepreneur." But during family dinners, Cassandra kept checking her phone and smiling at texts, then hiding it whenever Dad looked her way. Something felt really wrong about all of it. The intervention was our last chance to save him. My mom drove over crying. Even Dad's brother drove 3 hours after not speaking to him for 5 years. I laid out Cassandra's real college ID showing she was 22, her failed transcripts, and screenshots from her old social media. Before she deleted everything, Cassandra started crying immediately. But I noticed her tears stopped the second Dad looked away from her. She whispered to Dad, but loud enough for us to hear, "They hate seeing you happy, baby. They want you miserable and alone like them." Dad's face went from red to purple with rage. He screamed, "Get out, all of you parasites!" He pointed at me and said, "You're dead to me. Dead. I finally find love and you try to destroy it?" My chest felt completely hollow as we filed out. Behind Dad's back, Cassandra smiled at me like she'd won. The next morning, Dad called and his voice was ice cold. He said, "We're married. I gave Cassandra power of attorney. We're leaving the country today." I was actually crying when I begged, "Dad, please don't do this." He said, "Lose my number." Then he hung up on me. Within 72 hours, his entire life was being erased. His phone was disconnected, his email deleted, the business had new management, and the house had a sale pending sign. I found out from his office manager that they left at dawn for Mexico, and that Dad looked happy I couldn't eat or sleep thinking about that smile Cassandra gave me. 5 days later, a Mexican hospital called. The nurse said, "Your father had a heart attack. He's alone and keeps screaming for you." My legs went weak and I had to sit down. I asked, "Where's his wife?" She said, "She left with everything yesterday." I flew down immediately, and when I saw Dad, he looked like he'd aged 20 years. He saw me and broke down sobbing. He said, "Son, I'm so sorry." I asked what happened, and he could barely get the words out. He said, "The first night, she said she needed my passwords for emergencies. Said it was romantic that we'd protect each other. I thought she loved me, so I gave her everything." His whole body was shaking as he continued. He said, "I woke up alone. She transferred everything out overnight. The house money, business sale, my retirement, everything from 40 years of work just gone." He grabbed my hands desperately and said, "The police told me she's a professional who does this to lonely divorced men all the time." Then his voice dropped to almost nothing. He whispered, "They found her phone. She had 3 other men she was texting, all divorced, all lonely, all rich. But the worst part is she'd screenshotted mom's Facebook posts from 8 months ago. She hunted me. I was never anything but prey to her." Dad lived with me after that. Yesterday he got a text saying, "Your son looks lonely too." My hands won't stop shaking. Cassandra's still hunting.